think it's really cool that Richard acknowledged us the other day, and he's acknowledged other teams as well. And it just shows how decentralized and how kind of interesting Pulsechain really is, right? And even guys like Eric Wall, who are our biggest fudders, Eric has, told me privately, well, I didn't think much of Pulsechain, but like when you guys you're building the best stuff on Ethereum on Pulsechain, I realize actually no, this thing's a little bit serious, right? Like I hope he doesn't hope he's not offended that I shared that little personal conversation that I had with him, but it's incredibly important. So I want people to understand that we actually have a decentralized community of a bunch of different teams, and actually a lot of us are competing against each other indirectly or directly. And I'm going out of my way to basically bring all these people up who may be my competitors. I don't really care because I think that we all sink or swim together, right? So to the extent that Tetra has yield opportunities, or Power City has yield opportunities, or Liquor Loans has yield opportunities, I don't really mind. I actually just want you guys to succeed, because if you do, my stuff's worth more money. That's just the way it is.
You brought
in
up
the end,
something. I need to do a disclaimer, by the way, because I didn't do it at the start of this. I didn't do it at the start of the thing, and I need to. I do. I need to do a disclaimer. Nothing in this room is financial advice, right? We're not telling you to invest in anything. It's a stream about passive income plays on Pulsechain. Now, like, there's places you can literally park your assets, like Pulse and Pulsex, over in Fame, where you can earn yield on the assets that you like. Like, no one in this room is actually telling you to go buy anything either, to go stake it, to get assets, like, in return, right? Yield, because they're more speculative plays. None of it's financial advice. It's just bringing into an open space opportunities that sit on Pulsechain, because like over on other chains, right, one of the biggest things is being early into protocols, being early on the chain, and those people generally make it better, right? Like, they are beneficial from these different things that are built on the chain, and especially if they get in before everybody else. So, opening up spaces for passive income is something that I am pro for. I think everybody in the community knows that I've always been pro builders, right? Like, I always give accolades to everybody that's building on Pulsechain, because it's 100% community driven. And like, we can be controversial about sacrifices or whatever, but every other chain has grant programs, and we don't have that on Pulsechain. What we had was a community. And the community has worked extremely well to bring all the best applications from every other chain over onto Pulsechain. And like, you don't have to hold a token to use a platform either. Like, Bateas is the best DEX aggregator on Pulsechain currently, right? They have just better order execution, but you don't have to hold their token to be able to use the platform. Like, you don't have to hold loan token from Liquid Loans to open up a vault and leverage the protocol. So it's just about having an open space that's not financial advice, to tell people all the different plays that are within a chain, right, that you guys can maximize on, or maybe get enough interest to go look at them yourselves. Do your own research. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's
And
the
let me
whole
add
point,
in
right?
sorry, hold on, long vacation. If I can just add an additional disclaimer, each of our protocols has its own specific risk as well, right? So maybe there's an oracle involved, maybe there's contract risk or something like that. So there's no risk-free yield play per se. Like, even with Hex, for example, we think the Hex contract is pretty sound at this point because no one's hacked it since it started in 2019, but theoretically it could be hacked, right? So just understand that everything that you invest in has a little element of risk. Even if it's been around for a long time. So I think that's an important thing to say as well. Long vacation, but we're going back to you now. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say that the whole point of this is to have the tools in the toolbox so that you can learn and have the right things to use to get to your goals, right? There are many protocols out there that even aren't here, but the key is to learn. You got to take an autodidactic approach to this, to teach yourself to read and to ask questions in their communities and find out about what these things do, how they operate, and where they can fit into your own personal financial plan. None of us is going to tell you what to do and how to go do it, right? We're just telling you that these are the things that are out there. These are the ways that they can benefit. different people, but there's no one size fits all, right? So I really, it's funny because someone was telling me the other day that like do your own research is a meme. And it's like, well, actually, crypto is the one place where you have full custody and control of your assets. You have the final say in everything that happens to your money. You need to then be educated and you need to go through and make that decision because there is no complaint line. There is no one to call when you make a mistake. If you make a mistake, well, that's a hard lesson, but it is a lesson, and hopefully, you do it once. Everybody makes at least one mistake in crypto, and then you learn and you never do it again. But the important thing is if you take the time and truly read. I know it's not sexy, but man, this is super, super important. Take the time and read and go into these communities and ask questions and educate yourself about how these things work to understand those risks. Then you can see, okay, where does it fit into where I want to go in my financial journey, right? So that's the challenge to each and everyone here, because I'm not going to say any one tool is your solution, right? I'm not here to sell you anything other than sell yourself, and you make yourself more valuable by learning and educating yourself and understanding the options that are out there so you can figure out how to put those to advantage in your life.
And I'm just tearing through support tickets that we have. I've got 62 open this morning when I woke up. So that's basically a huge chunk of what we do each day is just hand-holding people who are new to Pulsechain, people who are new to crypto, people who are new to Coast, trying to make sure that they have everything they need to feel comfortable using an on and off ramp that is self-custodial, helping them understand the timelines for deposits, withdrawals, the process of minting and burning. It's just a lot of granular one-on-one help with individuals, and it takes a huge amount of time, but that's our business, so that's what we're doing.
Awesome. I love Coast. I'm so happy that we have a native stablecoin. I'm not sure that we have enough of a chain yet to deserve you guys, but I'm so glad that you're trying nonetheless. So thank you so much for what you guys are doing. On the real yield thing, you guys have stable swap pools on PHUX, and I'm sure you have pools on Pulsex as well. Like if you guys can help anybody out on Pulsechain, these are the guys I would prefer you to help out.
Yeah.
That's just my view.
Yeah. Look.
Can we also acknowledge the fact that they have gasless onboarding, please, Stoic?
Yeah, we built a buy feature that basically moves funds from your Fortress Trust custodial account to collateral, and then triggers a Patea swap using their API, and then sends out your coins to you. So that's really the main use case for that feature. Although you can buy Pulsex, Hex, and our token Weight using that feature as well. Mostly it's just built for brand new people who don't have any PLS, not wrapped PLS. Because obviously you can get that elsewhere once you're on chain. But yeah, we give people the ability to just buy PLS with their USD, which seems to make a big difference. And that's typically the number one transaction, or the first transaction that everybody does once they have a Coast account. Because we have, I think it's about a third of all of our customers are brand new to Pulsechain. So the vast majority don't have any Pulse when they first get started with us.
Yeah, fun fact, when Corey, Gary, and Dane, they go speak at these events with these real estate guys, they usually just route the onboards through Coast. So they might be your number one onboarders currently at the moment.
Yeah, they're great. I've heard a couple of mentions of them as sort of advisors to people when they first get started with us, because we have a bit of an onboarding flow that helps us understand where people come from. So that's been pretty common feedback that we've gotten. Yeah, it's been going good. We're just past 7,000 customers. We're adding about 800 a month presently. When there's big surges, we'll put 150 to 200 users on each day. It's a lot of customer service, I'll be honest with you. But I don't know that there's many other places in crypto or in DeFi or in Web3 where you can actually live chat with the founder. So I think a lot of people are just taking advantage of that fact, and it's bordering on abusing it at this point. But we're making it happen, so it's okay.
A controversial figure. He's Cleo. I think he's on Pulse Pilot here. He's got his hand up. He's being respectful.
As always.
He's obviously going to be an expert on yield opportunities on the Jack Levin ecosystem.
Rip.
Cleo, hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, General Buck Naked. How are you?
I'm really good, man. It's really good to hear from you.
Yes,
You know, I love our conversations always.
as our conversations are arousing. I like the way they flow.
Agreed.
I don't ever want to hear of front run Levin's name ever again. Front run Levin is a scammer, and his sidekick girlfriend Axel Eckerbomb, aka Hensu, is also a scammer. They are front runners, scammers. I do not like them. But the reason why I'm here is I think I should do a sacrifice so I can get the Pulsechain brand. Why are you laughing, Dylan?
No,
I'm just waiting to hear
laughing
Batman voice.
he was laughing about what you said about Jack. You're good. Keep
Yeah,
going.
that too.
It's front run Levin. We do not refer to Jack as Jack. Jack has no name. It's front run Levin now.
It's like Crooked Hillary. It's front run Levin.
Yeah, I basically. But getting back to Pulsechain, I want to do a sacrifice, and I want to brand my aeroplane from head to toe with Pulsechain stuff because I think I'm really good for it. I'm an excellent, awesome display pilot. I'm internationally recognised. Not only have I got a very distinguishable penis, but my
What kind of money were you talking? What does that cost? Just so we know.
what kind of what?
Money. So it's not really a sacrifice. It's a donation. What kind of money are we talking to make that happen?
About 15 grand.
That's not a
About
lot,
15
but
grand.
like that's not a lot of money.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. No, it's not. It's not
So
too bad.
if we found that money, what would happen? What's
I'd
the
brand
kind
the
of
aircraft. I'd brand the aircraft with
will we
worthy.
get will we get a lot of cool photos or something that we can show off and
Yeah, always. Yeah, always,
yeah,
always. But the good thing is that this year's quite a big year for me because I'm doing at the moment. I've got 2 Guinness World Record attempts planned.
right.
Yeah, but it's for me. It's more about getting the Pulsechain brand and ecosystem out to the public because aviation. There's a lot of money involved in aviation, and I think it would be really good for the ecosystem. Regards to profit for me, there won't be much profit in that for me, and any profit that does come, that will be put towards sort of operational costs, etc. But I think it's an excellent
Yeah.
branding opportunity. It's unique, it's
Well,
niche.
I'm personally happy to fund this entirely myself. I just need to come up with the right concept that's gonna help Pulsechain. Like 15 grand is nothing. Like it's basically free as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I
But
mean, it's that's 15 grand to to somebody is a lot of money. 15 grand to somebody isn't a
but
lot of money.
but if you guys that are listening, it's like okay, so imagine what we're gonna get out of this is an airplane that says something about Pulsechain. So if you guys come up with a good idea, like I'll put up the money for it.
Oh, it's very cool.
We spent 640 grand for a NASCAR. I mean, what's 15 grand for a plane?
No, 15 grand is nothing, right? And I also just like the
Sorry about
idea.
it.
I also just like the idea of bringing somebody in from the cold who had some concerns about the community before. But I hope Cleo, you get that now that like we're all pretty we're pretty sincere people that are trying to do something cool.
Do you know what? I like the controversial side of things. I always have done. For me,
Sure, we understand that.
my concerns were legitimate because I did have concerns. However, I have been proved wrong on several other things.
Yep.
But most importantly, I was reeled into an ecosystem which, on the front end, looked perfect and looked exactly what was described, but was actually everything but. And it made me reevaluate the entire crypto space. And I'm referring to front run Levin and
Yeah, sure.
his Zen ecosystem. And as a consequence of that, Pulsechain almost seems a more viable option. Well, in fact, it is a more viable option because that's where my economic energy has gone to.
We have a really good community of like really thoughtful, hardworking people. Like, look at the people that are in this space. Like you have to give that at least a little bit of respect. It's not nothing. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
everything. Yeah,
yeah.
it's everything. It's everything.
And
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
maybe the biggest criticism I have of Jack is that I don't think he was ever serious about the things that he
Well,
promised.
well, let me
Right?
tell you something quickly, and it's to take a couple of minutes, couple of seconds. I was approached by a guy in the ecosystem. At one point, fruition, and some of the shady that was going on. I am not comfortable promoting Zen on my aircraft anymore. It's clearly being run by front run Levin. I cannot be associated with it. Like this is my professional career. How would you feel if I took it off? I would have given the money back. Blah blah blah. Do you know what this guy turned around and said to me? He said, "You've been great for the community. We've always spoken. We've always got on well. If you're not comfortable with it, remove it. No problem at all." That day, I went down to the aircraft and ripped it off and videoed it, and I'm going to put it on my Twitter. So everyone could like retweet it. So yeah, I take it very seriously because it's my it's my professional career. So yeah.
Is that the guys with tons of money are the people that move price. Dylan and I get accused a lot of there being some evil cabal that I run, which is quite funny. So like, hex price dumps and it's Dylan's fault or my fault. When in reality it's like there's a very well known whale that you guys all know who produced the documentary, and some people connected to him are selling. Right? And that's what's pushing the price down.
Can
Right?
I defend you guys in a sense, and for everybody in the room, the PH team actually did things to help market manipulation on Pulsechain, because there's this thing called fiat, where people were taking flash loans and kind of manipulating the market, right? They'll take leverage positions over on Fame and then go take some loans and try to manipulate the market a little bit. And the PH team actually mitigated that by making the time frame that you had to have your position open on Fame a bit longer. And while that annoyed some people, these people actually moved to stop market manipulation and those types of behavior. So yeah, there's always sides to things that people don't see, and things that happen in the background, especially with builders, that nobody knows about, right? It's not openly discussed, but they are real things. So sometimes the people that you guys think are the bad guys aren't actually the bad guys.
Yeah, usually not. We're going to make a ton of money, and there's nothing to be ashamed of about that. We're going to make a ton of money as Pulsechain successful, right? Like we're going to be some of the richest people in Pulsechain, and that's awesome. It's so much better than if it was Binance. It's so good that it's going to be the community. Like it's awesome. People don't even understand how good that is. But the richest people in Pulsechain are going to be community members, not some stupid CEX.
Okay. My question is, I have got a question about gas prices and correlation with PLS price. A lot of people in community are talking about at least 1 cent PLS price. Last time gas spiked to 21K. That's mean almost $210 for swap with only 1 cent price on PLS, and even this scenario set up Pulsechain as very expensive blockchain. How this can be sustainable long term, and how and if this even possible to detach from Ethereum upgrades to optimize gas prices?
Because the
Sounds
gas
like a great problem to have, by the way.
Yeah, one, that is the great problem, but that's not how it works. The gas variance is like a mathematical equation. It goes up. It doesn't stay a set amount of PLS versus price. It moves up in an equation, and that equation is probably in the GitHub or GitLab, I should say. We use GitLab, right?
Katie, I don't understand his question. Can you paraphrase it to me like I'm an
Yeah, they're
idiot, which
saying
I
if
am?
it's one PLS to transact now, if it goes up in value by X amount, that is going to be X amount to transact, because it'll still be one PLS. But it doesn't work like that, because the amount of PLS versus price, it changes. I just can't remember the math equation. I mean, if I actually sat there and went and looked for it, I could
Right.
find it.
Well,
But it's
okay.
just not how it works.
So there's a concept in economics called elasticity, right? So so long as it doesn't cost you a gajillion dollars, you don't care if it costs you. When you buy salt at the supermarket, you don't really look at the price, do you? I mean, if you're broke, maybe you do, but most of us just go and you go to the spice rack and you go, "Yep, I'll buy some salt." I don't care what it costs because I know I can afford it, right? That's most people.
I also want to just throw out that back in the day when Ethereum first launched, you had to pay more in ETH per transaction than you do now. So even though the price of ETH went up, gas has gone up too, but you pay less in ETH than you used to.
That's the math equation, but I don't know if
the next thing is, does it matter? Actually, the answer I don't think is the answer is no, because what counts is the users that use it in size, right? So poor guys, and this is where I sound like an elitist, which I am, but the poor guys that can't afford to transact on Pulse, like, they don't count. I'm sorry, I know I sound mean when I say that, but they don't. It's like literally, when Rackham, Rochelle, or Godwell transact, that's what matters. So long as they can afford it, it's pretty good. You know what I mean?
I would counter you because we are an inflationary model, and although the smaller guys maybe sometimes don't matter, they're usually the degens or the NFT guys that do put a lot of transactional volume on chain.
They really overvalue their importance.
In terms of inflation and like transacting and gas, like when we transact and pay gas, it burns. So I wouldn't mind more people transacting on chain, but yes, I do agree to some extent with you coming.
They over exaggerate their importance, and you see this to a degree with people in the community, right? Like they're like, oh, like I had to pay 10 cents to do this transaction, and I'm just like, yeah, like I don't care about 10 cents. Why do you care about 10 cents? You know what I mean? Like, I just want a functioning network, right? Now, if I have to pay $150 to stake my stable coins on Aave, that's different, right? But like 10 cents? No, I'm good. And that has to do with operating leverage. Like if you actually have the money, like if you have $10,000 that you want to stake on Aave, like you have to actually do that. That calculation has to make sense to you. And on Ethereum, it maybe doesn't. It does make sense on Pulsechain. At 10 cents, that's fine. If it costs you 150, it doesn't, right? And so we're nowhere near the point where that matters. Basically, is how I would answer that question to the gentleman that asked it. It just doesn't matter. We're not even close. Like we're not even in the same solar system where that matters. It's basically free to transact on Pulsechain effectively for any first world person.
I'm just wrapping my head around this because Pulsechain is advertising as cheaper, faster version. Especially it's about cheaper. Well, I don't see bragging about paying $12 or more or something like that, or even hundreds in PLS to just do a swap or something like that.
But hundreds in PLS is literally fractions of a cent right now, and like I already did answer.
I mean dollars. I mean dollars.
I mean dollars. Morning, so I'm not going to go find the math equation for you. But I swear, like, go to the GitHub or GitLab. Sorry, it'll be there. Or go ask somebody that's awake, not me.
Are we?
Go ask.
Are we the cheapest?
Brett will ask you. Like,
are we the cheapest? Probably not. But
yeah, we literally are. We're cheaper than AVAX. We're cheaper than most of them currently. Like, there might be a couple like Telos,
we're cheap enough. We're cheap enough that like it doesn't matter.
But even when price goes up, like the amount of PLS that it costs for a transaction decreases. Like it's a math equation that I just
The main thing to this guy who's asking this question that I think you want to understand is that there's a really big, aggressive community of people who really care a lot, who are doing a whole bunch of stuff. And that's actually what you're investing in my opinion. You're not investing in, like is our technology better? Like, I don't think our technology is better. That's not what actually matters, in my opinion. And if someone comes up with better technology, we just steal it. Because that's the beautiful thing about crypto, is that it's all open source anyway. So if somebody comes out with a better way to do Ethereum, we'll just steal it, right? But what we have that not a lot of other people have is literally guys like Matty Allin and Katie and people building things like Fast Abdul and Kyle and Long Vacation and everybody else that give the ecosystem value, right? That's what's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Literally, the community is everything. Like, there is just no question about that.
Well, we also have a pretty cool founder, but we didn't talk so much about him tonight, which is probably good. But we also probably agree that we have a pretty cool founder.
We have a pretty cool founder, yeah.